Hello, we are about to kick off our first coaching circle starting in April. So I thought I'd send out this short little message and invite all of you to consider a couple of things in preparation. So go grab a pen and get ready to start writing some things down. Or maybe just grab a Sharpie and some Post-its because we all know we have them. And what we're going to do is, in this recording, I'm just going to give you kind of an intro. We're going to about a minute and a half. So we have 5 people who are going to be joining our coaching circle. And the fantastic part about it is we have a VP, we have directors, we have project managers, scrum masters, you name it, we have almost all of it. And that's the exciting part, is all of us are coming from a different background and experience. And that's what makes a coaching circle so successful, is that we all have a different piece of the puzzle to bring together to make this a really great experience. As I had shared with all of you when we did our initial interviews, we're going to be meeting twice a month starting in April, and so we'll finish up at the end of June. Now, first thing of homework for each of you to do is decide on a couple of days and times of the week where you would be available to do this 1-hour call. And we're looking for just the first one in April. So the first and second week of April, if you could send me the available blocks of time that you'd be able to do the session, we're going to get the first one started. Now, after that, it's really going to be open and flexible. What I'd like to do is make sure that as each of us have changes to our schedule and vacations and kids stuff and dog stuff and camping stuff, which is where I'm at now, that we're able to accommodate that and not schedule out the entire 3 months at the very beginning. So each meeting that we have, we will discuss when to meet for the next one. So we only need to pick out just one time, and that is going to be our first one in April, the first or second week. So go ahead and start sending those blocks of time that you can do that first session, and I will get that scheduled. The second thing that I wanted to talk to each of you about was the themes. So based on how you all answered the questions about the postcard from the future, your challenges that you're experiencing, the 3 areas of expertise that you bring to the table, we're going to have a bunch of themes that we could potentially pick out of all of those topics, and some that might be able to blend. So as I send those themes to you, you're going to pick your top 3. And out of those top 3, highest vote, there we go. We're going to do once each month. We'll pick a theme for that. We also had people request, or at least acknowledge that there are some guest speakers that they would love to have. So I'm going to start working on that now. The third thing I wanted to talk to you about is a little bit of sort of non-disclosure. So this is very informal. We're not paying to be part of this group. We're all volunteering to help each other out. But one of the things that we need to know is that each of us are trustworthy enough that we're not going to share anything outside of the group if we happen to talk about some specific company things. Now, it is your responsibility as you bring those topics up that you're able to share them. But I know that sometimes we get really emotional as far as like what we're talking about, trying to solve a problem, and we may slip and say a name, or we might share some details that might be a little private. So we would always ask that everyone within the group is going to consider themselves under an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, without actually signing one. We are also going to record these sessions unless a majority of the group, or if all of you, would prefer that we not do that. This is really just a bonus if you want to do that, because if you're able to make all the sessions, great, you don't need the recording, but sometimes things come up and you're not able to make it, sickness, illness, car accident, stuff will happen. So I wanted those to be available only to the 5 or 6 of us. So all of us, again, would agree that those recordings do not get shared outside of the group, that we only share it with each other in case we miss, or we want to go back and review something and want to catch a conversation that we had. And then the final thing is around your testimonials about having a coaching circle. So I would ask your permission and also invite each of you to post on social media about how coaching circles are really effective for the work that you are trying to do, and that you would recommend that other people start their own. As all of you know, I have started my own business, but this is not necessarily an advertisement of working with me, although I would love that if you would think of that highly of me. But really what I'm trying to do is encourage people to create small communities of people that can hold each other accountable, can be a source of support, and also learning and education. So we're always sharing and continuously growing in our careers. So with that said, you have your action items that you are to send your first 2 weeks of April, what your availability is for our first session. Second, that you look at the themes and vote on those so that I can figure out which ones to set out for each month. And that's really it. So thank you very much, and I am excited to have our first session.